All right, so it's Saturday, October 30th, 2021, and I've finished epoxying all these stringers in. So all these are all epoxied in, notched them all through. In some cases, they go right through a bulkhead and out the other side. In other cases, they're just notched in. And then this is what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to use these sort of deck plates. They're quarter turn, 8-inch diameter deck plates to access the space underneath for storage or just for getting at it. And the only exception is this here, and over here I'm going to be putting a rectangular hatch to make it a little easier to open up. Those, in my opinion, tend to leak more, but this area here will be under the little cabin. I'm going to put a little cabin from this bulkhead up to this bulkhead. So basically, a little cabin in this space here. So this one here will be under that and protected from rainwater and that sort of thing. So I'm not too worried about that. So there'll be another little round inspection port there, one up there, one in the deck up here to access that forward space from outside. And so there's one on each side of the centerboard trunk here. There'll be one here under this seat, one here under this seat. This is the main seating area, if you will, the cockpit. In this area, this is actually the footwell in this space. That's why there's two stringers, one stacked up above the other, because there'll be a piece of plywood basically vertically in this space here and on this side, creating like a little footwell, and all the water will end up draining down to this space. And so when I pump the boat out, I'll pump it out here, or I may just have a port that I can open up and allow the water to drain out, because for the most part, all of this is all well above the water line. So if it does rain, obviously the cabin area over here it will, and the foredeck and all of that water will just drain off out of the boat. Same with the water, any water on this back ledge here. But any water that lands in the cockpit area, so on this higher seat elevation where the rudder goes in here, or in this cockpit area or this area here, this will all just tend to drain into this space here, and then could just leave a plug open if I want to. There'll be a little, water obviously in the bottom, sitting in the bottom of that. If I do that, salt water, but any rainwater would just drain out. So nice feature. This has got a lot of watertight compartments. I think there's 12 of them altogether. So this would be very, very difficult to flood this and sink this thing. So in the event of a capsize, I should be able to just basically pull it upright and then open the baler or whatever I put in the bottom of this cockpit, and the water should flow out on its own. Really, or I could help it by pumping it, but hopefully there's not too much water captured when it is righted, because of the seats and everything basically being watertight and water not being able to get in there. So not a lot of area to flood anyway. So yesterday I did put the carbon fiber in this area up here, this forward space, and this is the and this area here. This will be where the mast will step with the cutter rig that I'm going to be doing. And so there'll be a mast here. The other mast will be back here, small one in this space here, and with the main sheet coming to this point here. So little mast that'll roll around the sail will actually furl around the mast in this area here. And with a little boom that comes out here and basically sheets into the space here. And similarly, up here, this mast will rotate. So it'll be a rotating mast, just like some of the Hobie tandem island little trimaran things, to make it real easy just to wind the whole sail up on the mast. With a little boom coming back with the boom on a topping lift, and the sail will just slide along the boom as you furl it, and then you can just tension the outhaul to lock that in place, and some vertical battens in the sail so that it can wind up on the mast all the way without any trouble. So with the two masts and the two sails, this will allow me to keep the center of effort of the sail lower, so that there'll be less effort on the sail trying to tip the boat. It'll be lower down, less of a lever on that. So yeah, it's looking really good. So today I'm going to be working on there's supposed to be little pieces of wood on the edges of these bulkheads to make it easier to attach the plywood seating material onto here, and so I'm going to be putting that in, though I added a lot more stringers than in the original design, so it's already super well supported. So it doesn't need a whole lot of that, but for example, in an area like this, going along from this one here to the hull, and those sort of spaces where there's a little bit more of a gap, and it'd be nice to support it there. I'm going to do that in the same thing, for example, in this space here. And then I work on the plywood that sits in here. I'm going to have to notch it out further because I've added these pieces back in here, so I'm going to have to change the way it fits, and just everything takes a little tweaking, a little jockeying around to get it right. So that's the sort of stuff I'm going to be doing today.